So my name is Jouko Nieminen. I come from Finland. I have worked as a blacksmith a little over 40 years as an entrepreneur. And here is my friend Antti Nieminen, also a blacksmith, sculptor, metal artist. I have done also some art pieces, but not recently. So as long as I have been blacksmith, there has been this eternal problem how to communicate with designers and architects and convince them the benefits of forging-based metal techniques. Because so far as I can remember, it has been very difficult to get in the projects where you could show your skills or suggest some of your abilities there. So that's why we haven't given up this anyway. So Antti and I, we decided to try one more time, and we put up this company, ME-talli. It's a ME-talli. It has a double meaning in Finnish, but I'm not going to explain it now. So the meaning is that we are not necessarily manufacturers, but we work as advisors and technical advisors. We make plans and technical advice in a new project, as well as in refurbishing and restoration business. So there are some hints we can use and give for example, saving time and money, because there's a saying that well planned is half done. And when we plan properly things, we save time and money. So take the next. There are several new projects we have done. The earlier back to the pictures, so not so fast. One more. I'm specialized making gates in Helsinki. I have made several tens of gates in Helsinki. There are some which are designed for old buildings. We have quite many Art Nouveau buildings there, and also the earlier picture, if you can take. And also some more modern design. Then. And sorry, I have some. We can offer the new projects. We can offer our skills and solutions based on our work. And also to the restoration project, we can offer our know-how about materials and also the techniques we used before. If you go forward. For example, some examples of restoration. There's a Bank of Finland. These lanterns there I fixed a few years ago. And not so fast. Yeah. So also the customers we are facing, so we can offer them new ideas based on their needs. For example, there's a door handle made a quite famous football player in Finland, so we listen very carefully what our customers want. And some more examples of our work. And one example of a restoration is a Finnish Parliament House, which has an old heating system, and this was the facade of the heating system, and they teared down the old facade, but all these doors and or piping, they were changed to a new place. So we have to take down the old system and put up it in a different place. And here also, as I told, that we can offer decades of experience of our skills and know-how. And so the traditional way we are working, of course, as well as modern, I was talking, and also these ecclesiastical pieces. And I have some examples of plans and reports we have to give, and we used to make restoration and refurbishing. If you this is hanging thing a little bit high nose presentation. Can you make them roll as a presentation? Avaan ne kuvina quite nice and big Orthodox cemetery in Helsinki, and there's a chapel called Papchenko Chapel. If I tell you something about its history, it was built late 1900, last decade of 1900th century, and the story behind the chapel was that there was an old general who married a 24-year-old maid, and they were married for some time until the maid fell in love with a younger officer. But this maid, she couldn't be unfaithful, so she decided to take poison and made a suicide. So this old man decided to build this kind of chapel for her, and he spent many times, long periods in a year, memorizing his late wife and bringing there some presents. And I made this kind of a restoration plan because we have to make plans. When you start a restoration, we have to make plans for the museum authorities how the restoration is done, and afterwards also how it was done. We have to make a report of this. Yeah. What? Okay. Yes. Thank you. So the thing is that I go there and I take pictures of the problems. There are rust and corrosion and broken parts, of course. So I point them and make a report what is to be done there. Some parts, they are quite all right. There may be some rust, but as you see there below the base is totally ruined. So these are the points I show, and then the company who's making the restoration, it doesn't have to be necessarily me, so I can also work as an advisor for them how to make these, because there are old techniques and old materials, how to use these techniques, and also what kind of materials there should be used. So these are the latest example of these restoration plans I have done. So it hasn't been started yet. We are just now looking for a constructor to start it. start the thing. But as you can see, there are, for example, the roof there. It's outside it looks quite terrible. There's some kind of layer, some kind of fabric on top of the roof, but inside there is not that much problems, only some point rust somewhere there. So next thing we are going to do is that I'm talking with these people there in the cemetery, and I help them to find a constructor for this. And next one is the report of a restoration. Okay, and this is the Bank of Finland, the picture shown earlier. So this is the beginning of the project. You can see in what kind of conditions these lanterns were 3 years ago. So the base, they're called lion base. So they were totally rusty. They are cast iron, and it was very difficult, for example, to see how the pillar was connected to the base. So it was quite exciting to start the thing, because I had to start it so that I took the base out and made a temporary base for the lanterns, because they didn't want to take the lamps out. So I started to take these bases off. And you can see there is rust, and there are missing parts from these bases, and missing decorations also. They were in a very bad shape. I don't even know if they have ever been restored. And there are the temporary bases I made for them. So this is a beginning of the moving those pieces. And there you can see when I started to take the bases apart, you can see how they were rusted there. So they were completely broken. The rust has made them split. Even there are bolts and everything which were ruined and rusted and opened all the joints there like that. They were totally in pieces, some of the parts. And even in some of the bigger parts, they split apart when I took them away. So all the parts, they were sandblasted, and one of those small decorative leaves, it was missing, so I cast a new one out of bronze. But afterwards I found the missing part inside one of the legs there. Someone had taken it out and put inside the leg this leaflet. And here's an example how to repair the missing corner. So it was repaired with concrete earlier, but I made a stainless steel base for it, and then made of steel this part there. And I used the screws to fix it there, and then I used chemical metal to cover these holes there. And here are the top parts which were broken apart. And these broken legs, I had to make a kind of a stainless steel skeleton inside there, and then I bolted these broken parts together to that skeleton there. But this is the way to work with these refurbishing or restoration methods. You have to be very precise and careful to take pictures and show what you have done and how you have done, because it's good for the people in the future to see what's done, and it's easier for them to go on if there is need for that. And second part was to fix the pillars and the lamps, so you can go on quite fast. So, oh, it's not. Sorry, it's not in there. Yes, but anyway, so this is what we are after now. So we try to convince designers and architects, and by showing our skills and what we can do and what can we be asked to do, because they just don't know the methods we are able to make, and we try one more time if we can solve this problem. But as I told earlier, so I've been doing this so long time that it has been, like I said, eternal problem for us, that we keep talking on this problem on and on and on and on. But let's hope it will be. Okay, there's one more if you want to see, and I think there is time. So another project from a break of this year earlier. So this is a Helsinki Cathedral, the main cathedral in Helsinki, and there's a big chandelier in the middle of the church, and it was taken down because there was a 7-meter diameter artwork, huge globe, and so the company taking down the chandelier, they weren't careful enough, so it landed so that one of the arms was on top of one side table, and it was twisted. So it had to be. Actually, there is another. Let's go back. So yes. Sorry, it was wrong. Oliko se alussa se, että niitä yksiä kuvia? Okay. Yes, now go on. So the chandelier was that big that it cannot be taken out of the church because the doors were too narrow and the chandelier was too high. It was over 4 meters high, and I have to take it into the pieces in the church, and I had to make a shelter around it where to work, because all the time there were tourists going around the place, and they came to ask me where is the toilet and things like that, so I had to get some peace there. So it was hanging in some kind of a rack where the chandelier was hanging, and I had to make extra arms for this rack so that I could use these lifting chains and everything, because I have to take 3 of these chains to secure the upper parts, and with 3 different chains so that I could took down the lower part. So it was kind of time-taking project there. But also like here, so I had to make a big report and a complete report what I was doing there, why I did, and so kind of example also this. So there you can just see the methods I was using there. And how the parts were taking apart, and I have to number every single piece that I could put them back in the right position. It has been repaired also earlier, so I decided to make also these temporary and earlier repairs fit with the original shape. So this is the kind of work we are after, and we want to go on with this, and we hope that there will be more and more understanding what we can do and what is there to be done. So if any questions, so please don't hesitate to ask. So I think we have been sitting here. The microphone decided that the presentation is ending. But if any questions, so there's some time for questions. But if not, so thank you for your patience and let's go out.